Welcome to this week's MoneyFit Live webinar, At Home with Money. We're going to talk about personal finances while working from home. My name is Todd Christensen, Education Manager at MoneyFit by DRS, author of Everyday Money. This is a topic that has hit home with many of us, most of us I dare say, over the last few months. This is recording in August of 2020. Of course, in the middle of the pandemic, where many of us have worked from home, are working from home, may again work from home, who knows? How does that affect your finances? Now, even if you're not in the middle of a pandemic, what if you're in a position where you have the option to work from home? How will that affect your personal finances? We're going to talk about what stays the same, what changes, what's eliminated, what's new, and then some of the steps you're going to want to take to create an efficient way of working from home for you. Let's start with what stays the same. These should not be any surprise. Of course, if you have debts, generally those debts will continue to remain the same. You will still have to make your monthly payment. Now, in national emergencies or crises like the pandemic, there are some debts that, like student loan debts, federal student loan debts, where the government said we're going to stop collecting, requiring a payment for this many months. We're not going to add interest. Know that if you work out with a creditor that they give you what's called a payment holiday, they'll say you don't need to make a payment this month, and we won't penalize you. Well, that penalizing means that they won't charge you an extra fee, but they will typically, unless they specifically say they're not going to do it, they will typically charge you interest on top of the balance that continues to grow because you haven't made a payment. But make your payments. They generally stay the same whether you're working at home or not. Dining out. Most people will continue to dine out about the same amount whether you're working at home or working from an office. We'll talk about how some specifics within that dining out sphere might change, might go down. But generally, you'll still go out on the weekends, or you'll still go out once a week or once a month, whatever it is that you're used to. Healthcare is not going to change a whole lot. You'll continue to have a monthly premium. You'll continue to have to pay any kind of co-pays and co-insurance if you need to go visit the doctor. So healthcare stays the same, which means, hey, if you have to pay for your own premium, you know it's crazy expensive. Okay, so what is different about staying at home and working from home? What? Wait a minute, car payment. Didn't I just say that your debt is going to be the same? Yes, the car payment will be the same, but your insurance, you can actually, if you're no longer commuting, you might want to consider contacting your insurance company. Say, look, I no longer commute. My car sits in the driveway 5 days a week or an extra 30 hours or 40 hours a week now that I am not working, going to an office. And you might be able to get a much better insurance rate. So car payment generally is going to stay the same. Hopefully you don't have one. Hopefully you get one paid off. Car payments do not have to be the norm. I'm just going to say that right out there. But insurance, you can look at getting a lower insurance rate. In fact, you might even, let me go back here, you might even consider getting rid of a car. If you are no longer going to be working from an office, and maybe there's already you and a partner at home, and you already have 2 cars, maybe you can get away with just needing the 1 car, so you could even improve your finances that much better. Internet and utilities, up or down. Most people are probably going to see an increase in their internet or utility costs by working at home. If you don't have all you can surf, all you can browse, all you can use internet service provider, then working from home is likely to lead to overages. So look into the plan before you head home to work. Look into what kind of plans are available so that you are not hit with these basically penalties for going over the data usage. What about utilities? Well, you hopefully you turn down your heating while you're away working during the day in the wintertime, or that you turn the air conditioner down. I mean, like less air conditioning being used during the summertime. But if you're working from home, you're going to keep those both up pretty high. So you're already going to see a greater usage in your electricity and or heating bill when you are working from home. That's pretty common. Now, what are your other options? You can bundle up more and just try during the winter time, bundle up more layers, use more layers. And in the summer, when it's hot, you can look at a fan, look at having a window so you can get some breeze. That, of course, the problem with that is it's going to be a lot more noisy. It might be more noisy so that you may not be able to have professional conversations on phones. These are just a couple of options for you. Laundry is going to, probably be a lot better for you. You're not going to have to use as many professional clothes probably if you have been working for an office where they require certain dress standards. Working from home, typically, if you want, typically you'll have a top, a professional top. But hey, I mean, most people don't really care that you're wearing jeans or sweats or shorts or whatever, because nobody ever sees that if you're on video, even at home. So your laundry, you probably have much less laundry and get away with doing it less often, saving you again on utilities too. Meals and snacks. Okay, now this one was hard for me when I was working from home. It was so much easier just to head into the kitchen and grab a snack. And so you're going to want to commit to yourself that you're not only going to come out during lunch and not head right to the snack cupboard. Phone, your data, you're more likely to, especially if you're using your own cell phone for work, working from home means you're going to have a lot more data and minutes on your plan. Either talk to your employer about supplementing your plan, or look for a plan that works better for the usage that you're about to get. Look for an online plan, maybe with the phone, that will be much more affordable for your month, and that there's no limits on how much you can use. That, of course, will then affect your internet usage if you don't have an unlimited data usage on your internet. Gasoline and maintenance. Again, much less of an issue if you're not driving to and from work every day, every weekday. So you're going to see a drop off on that quite a bit. You'll save yourself some money. Still do need to, if you have a gasoline-powered car, you're still going to need to have oil changes fairly regularly, twice a year, 3 times a year. Even if you're hardly driving the car at all, that oil sitting there and does get old, and you want to make sure that you have it properly maintained. Okay, what about some things that are eliminated that you're really not going to use at all anymore once you get home? Well, dry cleaning. Generally, unless you do have to have formal top and a tie or nice professional outfit that you do have to wear every day, generally you can get away with not having to do any much dry cleaning anymore. That's going to save you quite a bit of money every month. Office fundraisers. This is one that a lot of people don't think about, but if you're not in the office anymore, it's much more difficult for your coworkers who especially have kids in school or high school or that are doing fundraisers to hit you up for the latest fundraising drive. Even if it's good, yummy cookies or something that you do like, you're going to save money in this instance. Public transportation. If you didn't have a vehicle, well, now you're not going to have to worry about public transportation. If you took the metro or a bus to work, for the most part, in some cases, you may be able to get rid of that. If that is your only mode of transportation, then you're still probably going to need your pass, your monthly pass, to use for after hours or for entertainment if you're going somewhere, or recreation. What about some of the new things that come our way when we're working at home? Now, this is one that I referred to earlier. A lot of people, when they get to work, they're going to head to a coffee shop. It's kind of a dining out. A lot of people do that, and so they are actually going to save money. If they've been doing that, they're going to save money because they can make the coffee at home. If you're a coffee drinker and your work supplies your coffee, then you're going to have an extra expense because you're going to have to now start brewing it at home more. The same thing for refreshments. If you are fortunate enough to work for a company that stocks the refrigerator for the employees, well, you're going to now have to come up with that at home if you're going to continue that habit. But you're going to have to consider what is it that I eat, drink, that I'm going to have to pay for when I get home now. Desks and chairs. Not very many employers are going to pay for desk and office chair for you to work from home. Quite often you'll have to come up with your own. If that's the case, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, thrift stores, great places to get used desks because nobody sees your desk on your video conferencing. They only see you. So don't worry about it, but do find a chair that's comfortable. Better and faster internet. I've referred to. You may have to increase that, or maybe a router. You might have to get a new router that will broadcast your Wi-Fi a little further, unless you have a cable that will go right to where your desk is. You might have to get some new computer or a new printer or other supplies. These are things that you'll have to have a discussion with your employer about, because you may be expected to supply those all yourself. Okay, so let's finish up here with a little to-do list. What you want to do is you want to avoid the discomfort that leads to stress, because discomfort and emotional and physical stress lead to overspending. So these are some things that you want to consider that will help you avoid overspending even outside of office hours. Because if you are stressed at home, if working from home makes you more stressed than working from the office, you're likely, it's human nature, that doesn't mean you will, but you're more likely to run someplace after work and buy something that you feel will help you feel better, or that you deserve because it's been such a long, crazy day. These include creating a comfortable work environment. You need that dedicated desk, ideally a dedicated room that you can work from. Now, during the pandemic, everybody understood everybody's at home and it was unexpected, and so we've been very forgiving with kids in the background and dogs' noises and so forth. At other times, though, you want to make sure that you are minimizing distractions. It's not a professional environment to be in when you've got distractions in the background. So ideally, you have a room that you can dedicate, or that you can at least seal off during normal hours. You want to have that comfortable chair. You might even want to have a foot mat that you can stand on, or that you can, if you want to create a standing desk, which is what I have been doing for several years. You need a mat so that it's comfortable for you. You want to be by a window that you can let in some natural light and some fresh air. It does wonders for the spirit, for you to just be able to, I can breathe and feel less stressed just by having some natural sounds, natural air, natural light come into your workspace. Declutter, not just your desk, but declutter the background for video conferencing. If you don't have a solid wall, find a way to make it so it doesn't look messy, because that even indirectly causes stress to us as workers when we know people can see a cluttered background. Keep your routine. Have a routine. If you're working from home, routine is so critical. Keep your morning routine. Get up, exercise, dress. Keep your work hours the same. Go to work, start work at the same time, and finish at the same time. Have a set lunch hour. Have set breaks, so you can get up and stretch your neck, stretch your back, stretch your legs, so that you are not sedentary for the entire day. Take those breaks. Relax in the evening, though. Don't let yourself work past the end of the workday. Really big problem for people who want to work from home. They forget to tell themselves it's okay to stop working for the day. And they'll just keep working and working, and pretty soon it's midnight and I have to get up in 5-7 hours and start this all over again. Well, where's the fun in working from home at that point? Make sure that you can get some proper and appropriate amount of sleep. Keep your routine. It is critical to your emotional well-being, and your emotional well-being is critical to your financial well-being. All right, and then you've got your personal finance checklist. Revisit your spending plans. Ask yourself, what are my priorities? Have my priorities changed now that I'm working from home? Things like, do I need that vehicle? Maybe not. That may have changed positions in your priority. Revisit your insurance policies. Working from home, besides the influence it might have on your car insurance, it might have an influence or effect on your homeowners or your renter's insurance, especially if you have new and expensive equipment that you're going to have there. So check with your insurance policy provider. Redirect some of the dining out that you've been spending to go out for lunch with your coworkers. If you're not doing that anymore, redirect it to your savings accounts for other priority goals that you have set for yourself. Maybe you want to go on that vacation or get another vehicle or be prepared for a birthday or whatever it might be. Put your money aside that you were spending on dining out. Now put it into an account just for savings. Let's do the same thing with your gourmet coffee runs. If you were one that goes out for gourmet coffee regularly, redirect that money now that you're not spending it on there to something else. You might initially, I've had coworkers who are big coffee drinkers talk about buying a nice espresso machine or a new coffee maker so that they can wake up to their favorite beverage in the morning. And then ask your employer, make sure you ask your employer about any possibility of assistance with things like the internet and supplies. If it's something that they're asking you to work from home rather than working at the office anymore, you might be able to take home the equipment while you're working or a desk even while you're still employed. And then, as I mentioned before, instead of cranking up the heat, use layers instead, or use a fan for air conditioning and so forth, so that you can lower your utility expenses. That's it. If you would like a certificate of completion for this course, please go back to our website at moneyfit.org/live, and you will find a link there that will take you to a form to fill out to get your certificate of completion. In order to get that certificate, you will need to put in the name as you want it to appear on the certificate. You will put in an email address where you want the certificate sent, and then you'll have to, and it'll ask you for your where you live, your state and or province and your country, and then it'll ask you for the passcode. The passcode for this webinar, which is called At Home with Money, the passcode is my20office. So that's no capital letters, MY, no spaces, 20, no space, office, OFFICE, my20office. That will get you your certificate generated automatically and sent off in your inbox. If you have any questions or if you struggle with that at all, please do give me a call or send me an email. My information is on the screen, 208-286-3283. My email address is todd@moneyfit.org. I will look forward to hearing from you. I hope you have a great day.